Hello, everyone. In this class, we will learn about loop nesting. Loop nesting refers to the structure of having one loop statement inside the body of another loop statement. The syntax of while, do while, and for loops allows for nesting, and they can be nested within each other as well. The most common form of nesting is using a for loop inside another for loop. The syntax of a nested for loop is shown on the screen. Next, we will demonstrate the use of nested for loops by printing a right-angled triangle pattern using asterisks. The triangle pattern is shown on the screen. Now, let's write the code using nested for loops to print the right-angled triangle pattern with asterisks. First, we define two loop variables, I and j. Then, we construct the outer loop. Once the outer loop is constructed, we build the inner loop. Next, we need to print the asterisks inside the outer loop. We also need to include the line break statement. Now our code is complete, and let's run it to see the output. As you can observe, it prints a total of 9 lines. The first line contains a single asterisk, and each subsequent line has an increasing number of asterisks, up to 9 in the last line. This demonstrates the functionality of printing a right-angled triangle pattern using asterisks. Now, let's analyze the code. In the first step, which is on line 3 of the code, we define two loop variables, I and j, where I is used as the outer loop variable, and j as the inner loop variable. Moving on to the second step, on line 4, we initialize I to 1, and set the loop condition to I is less than equals 9, which is true. Thus, the outer loop's body is entered for the first time. In the third step, on line 5, we initialize j to 1. Since I is currently 1, the condition j is less than equals I is true, and the inner loop's body is entered for the first time, printing a single asterisk. Next, the fourth step executes line 5. Is the operation j++ inside the inner loop. This increments the value of j to 2. In the fifth step, the condition j is less than equals I on line 5 is checked again. This time, the result is false, and the inner loop ends. Now, the sixth step executes line 8, which prints the new line character. Next, the sixth step executes line 4 of the code, where I++ is used to increment the value of the variable I to 2. In the 7th step, the condition I is less than equals 9 in line 4 is checked again, and the result is true, leading to re-entering the outer loop's body. The inner loop continues to be executed again. In the 8th step, since I now has a value of 2, the inner loop will be executed twice, and on the second line, 2 asterisks will be printed. After the inner loop finishes, a new line character will be printed. The 9th step follows a similar pattern. On the third line, 3 asterisks will be printed. On the fourth line, 4 asterisks will be printed, and so on. The number of asterisks printed on each line will increment gradually. This process continues until I has a value of 10. At this point, the outer loop's condition, I is less than equals 9, becomes false, and the outer loop ends. Consequently, the entire loop also ends. We have now covered the topic of nested loops. Goodbye, everyone. The following code loops times